Hi, this is Roger, thanks for dropping by. Got some work to do, it's a bit different. I have done it before, but it was a long time ago, so there would be a lot of people that watch the channel now that wouldn't have seen that, because it would be a very old video. That's even if I filmed it. Anyway, it's a technique I use for Keikis, which is what we're going to do some work on now. Swing the camera around. This doesn't need to be a long video. Why won't you turn? Oh, I know why. That's better. Because I tightened it up. A bit overzealous there, I think. Right, so what we've got are two Keikis. One is the delicatum that I got given by John at the Orchid Society meeting. So that's one, and that has some roots. They're not exactly active roots. They haven't got proper growing tips, but they will probably develop them, as these are not old and tired. They haven't been there ages and have, you know, just gone off basically. And the other one you haven't seen, well, some observant people may have seen. This is off of my Dendrobium infundibulum, which it grew up near the top of the cane, and it's something that dendrobiums do every now and again. What looks like a flower bud turns into a keiki. Now, getting a keiki on a black hair type dendrobium is quite a rare event, so I want to turn this into a new plant, and this has got nice active growing tips on the roots. This should take off quite quickly, this one. Right, so what I'm going to do is do a bit of mechanical work first, because pots have a rim, and I want, oh, now it's going to rain. I want the rain. The garden's getting a bit dry in places, and it will save me watering everything, and that was forecast. But what I want to do is get rid of the lip in a small place. So I'm just going to cut into the pot like that, and then break that bit off. Well, in fact, I'll cut it off as it's bendy, like that. So what that's done is taken a tooth out of the edge. Whoops. And we'll do it with the other one as well. So I just snick down a little bit, don't go mad, and then bend it in so that I can get the scissors on it and cut that little piece off, without taking my fingers off preferably. Yep, there we go. It's only the lip that needs to come off. We don't need a huge chunk out of the pot. Oh, I shall need them again. Right. Now the next part of the operation involves a stake and some duct tape. Those of you that haven't seen this think, what on earth is he up to? I will show you as soon as we can find the end. I was going to do a report on sellotape, but I couldn't find a start. I forget where that joke came from. It tickled me a little bit though, because the number of people you see struggling to find the start of a piece of tape off of a reel. Right, so we've got our first piece of tape, that we will have in a minute when the scissors cut it. It's very sticky, this stuff. And then what we do is we take our stake, put it down the side of the pot, and use the duct tape to stick it on, just below the lip. Stick it down one side like that, and then bend it over and stick it down the other side. And what you've now got is a nice firm stake on the outside of the pot. That one's not quite upright, but it's not the end of the world. Nobody's going to put a level on it or whatever. So we get another piece. I'm doing these both together like this. It's daft, you know, just the old conveyor belt theory. And then what I will do this time is bend the corner over so that next time I don't have trouble getting it started. I think why I didn't do that last time. So again, stick the stake down the side of the pot and make it a bit more upright this time round. Stick our tape on. This is stuck to me. There we go. Tight down one side and then roll it over and tight down the other side. There we go. And being duct tape, it, you know, it sticks. Right, so those are our two pots with our stakes. And now we want some media. Now I'm going to do a mix of my seedling media and some moss. And the reason for adding the moss in is bark, when it's new, dries incredibly quickly and can be difficult to wet. But add some moss into it, which holds moisture, and it will keep the bark moist. So it's a mix. The moss, hopefully by shredding it and getting the bits of grass out, should distribute throughout the whole of the media. That's the theory. Doesn't need to be heavy on the moss. You know, an amount in amongst the bark will hold the water and allow the bark to soak into that, so that when I water, it's the moss that will hold most of the moisture, but it'll stop the bark going dry, because these need to stay moist. Right, so there we go, some broken up moss. Mix that in. Yeah, that looks about right, it's enough. Right, now that isn't much of a mix for two big pots like that. The big pots are not going to get filled up, not by any means. We will put some in the bottom. These are air cone pots. And then what I'm going to do is put the Keiki like that, with the roots on the media, and then just put some more loosely round it. I'm not packing this in, I'm doing it quite loosely, like that. It'll pack down as it gets watered over time. So that's that. And then over here is my tub of clips, and what we do is we clip the Keiki to the stake. And that's it. Keiki doesn't move around. Roots have got some nice media to get into. And once I see the roots coming in through the media towards the edge of the pot, and I see a reasonable root system, it can be gently lifted out and potted up properly. And it might even be able to stay in that pot by just being lifted up and putting some more media in. But that's the technique that I use to pot up Keikis. Right, and then again we'll, I haven't quite got enough there. So just use up the last of the moss. Because this one has got some roots, and this is going to take off quite quickly. I suspect we will have a pot full of roots in the not too distant future. These are going to grow quite quickly. Right, so again, some media. Sit the Keiki on it, like that, and then just cover it up. So I'm putting the media in quite loose because I don't want it packed down. these roots have been aerial roots, and occasionally roots object to being put in media when they've been aerial roots for all of their life. They just fail. And I think that they fail in the main because they're packed in too tight. So I'm just looking for a smaller clip for this one. We don't want to garrot the Keiki. So there we go. I should get some labels for those, although I'm not going to forget which one that is. It's the black hair type, and obviously this is delicatum. So we will see what happens. We will see how these progress. I suspect this one, the roots on this one will start growing relatively soon, but they will probably take a while to, you know, realise that they're in some media and actively start to grow, whereas these are going to get going quite quickly. So that's my theory. So that's it. As I said, it's a technique I use on the grounds that these are nice and firm, they're not going to wobble around. The tape holds the stake in place very tightly, and as I said, the only thing you need to do is nick the lip off of the pot so that the stake stays quite upright. Otherwise the stake comes out at an angle like that and you've got a plant over at an angle, yeah, instead of having a nice upright plant. If your plant's over at an angle, your roots will be at the wrong angle for when you want to pot it upright. So by making sure the Keiki's upright in the first place, then obviously the roots are at the right angle for that to just be potted on, which is what will happen in the not too distant future. So that's that one. When this video is going to get posted, I'm not quite sure. It's, what is it today? What is it today? Can't remember whether it's Wednesday or Thursday. I think it might be Wednesday. Yeah, I think it's Wednesday today. All the days are the same when you're retired. Anyway, so I've already got a video filmed for today that hasn't been posted yet, so I will post that later in the day. I like to post late afternoon basically. There is a, looking at my stats, I have a peak in viewing between late afternoon and about 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. That's obviously people in the States are watching when it's their daytime. Yeah, I get up quite early in the day, and from early in the day until sort of mid-afternoon I don't get that many views. So I like to post late afternoon. It seems to suit the viewers better, or it seems to. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. It just seems to according to the stats. So I've got one ready for the rest of today. Tomorrow I'm hoping to get the first of the 5 project orchid videos done, and I have a feeling that they might not all be the same. Yeah, I might do them differently. Obviously I've got a whole year to sort of do, but there's still different ways to do it, so they might not all be the same format, just to try and break it up a bit. But I'm hoping to do that for tomorrow, and then this one can be Friday's video. Saturday I've got to go and get Hannah. Oh, hang on, no, Friday I'm getting Hannah, so this one can be posted before I go on Friday. And there probably won't be a video on Saturday because we're off to Mather's, and then I'll see what I can do for Sunday. But with Hannah down, if it's not raining, we'll probably do some work outdoors, out on the garden. And another bit of good news, tomorrow evening my son's coming round. He's in the area anyway. He said he'll pop round for an hour and explain the plan for the decking, so that I know what he had in mind when he started the work and got interrupted because his good wife locked herself out of the house. So he had to rush off obviously to deal with that, so he didn't finish the amount he would have done while he was here. But he's coming back tomorrow to have a chat about it all and sort of talk me around how he was proposing to do the work. So that'll be good, so at least I know what's going on then. And yeah, I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching, Thanks for being members, all those that are, you know, either on YouTube or on the Patreon site. Thanks for the thumbs up and the hypes, and just thanks for supporting the channel. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.